Hey guys, so one question I do constantly see people asking either me or other people is what kind of knife should I use for whittling and wood carving, and can I use any knife to whittle with? And the answer is for that is a yes, with an asterisk, because obviously you want to use the right tool for the right job, so there's different types of knives for different purposes. Ideally, when you're doing any sort of whittling and wood carving, you want to use a knife that is designed specifically for the task at hand. So, like these the boots knife and the Helvy knives, they're designed specifically for whittling. Then you can also get some other ones that are designed primarily for like bushcraft, like this Moore knife. It makes some nice carbon steel versions, make it perfect for bushcraft, for carving out there in the woods. Now these are more on the ideal spectrum because they're a fixed bladed knife, so you get a nice solid grip. You have a small blade where you get a good amount of control, and the steel is exactly what you need with a higher carbon steel between 58 and 62 Rockwell hardness. That way it holds a good amount of edge retention, but yet it doesn't dull out very fast or is not too brittle. So these are more on the ideal kind of lines what you want for fixed bladed knives, but you can also get ones that are more like multi-tool. This one is from Trade Oldtimer version. I believe it's the 04 4T, but it comes with multiple tools in there for both whittling and wood carving. For this version from Oldtimer, I do suggest you sharpen up the tools a little bit. They do come a little bit duller, and I've actually found that if you're going to get this one, get the ones that you see in the stores in the plastic packaging. The ones that come in the boxes, I feel like it's a different steel and it's softer. There's also the ones that are made by FlexCut, which is a much nicer version of this and comes with better steel. It also comes with locking tools, but those are about 5 times the cost of this. This is like 20 bucks. There's another one you're probably going to run across out there, the Bushmaster Whittler's pocket knife. Don't get this. This is garbage. I'm saying it right now. I've messed with this one. Like some of the tools on here are actually completely useless. Like I don't know what the heck they did with that right there. Just that's just bad. Like they ground it down to the point where you can't even use it. The tip of the knife has they just did a terrible job on making this tool. So if you see this, don't waste your money on it. Go buy the Oldtimer version. It's much better. But other pocket knives you can use. A lot of people or a lot of companies make quite a few knives that you can use all the time. So you got your traditional pocket knives. This one's from Rough Rider and Oldtimer. It's like your typical Congress style knives. Has the multiple blades in there. Get these all open of differing shapes and sizes. Great option if you already have one of these. Great choice to start whittling with. Oldtimer makes a very similar version to it. Both are very affordable, by the way, from Rough Rider and Oldtimer. They're less than 20 bucks. Your Swiss Army knives, always a great option. Let's see. I do prefer the ones that come with a smaller blade on there, as well as ones with a saw. Does this one have the saw on it? I don't know if this one does. Nope, this is a different version. But there are some like I think it's the Huntsman is one of them. Comes with a two blades, one small, one big, and a saw, and some other tools on there. So while the steel is a little bit softer on the Swiss Army knives than what you'd want, still a great option if that's what you have. Perfect get started with. And then some more of the specialized ones that are made specifically for whittling and wood carving. Rough Rider does make some nice carbon steel variants. This one is for, I believe it's called one of their whittling or wood carver ones. It comes with a couple different size blades on it, and it is also a higher carbon steel blade, so it gives you a little bit more edge retention on it. More expensive than your standard ones, but not by much. The carbon steel ones are good options. Also, FlexCut makes some specialized whittling pocket knives. Same steel that they use for their actual fixed bladed knives. This is their detail knife. This is actually one I like to carry around with me. It's small, it's light, it has a nice blade on there that is perfect for what I like to whittle. There's some other ones out there that you can keep an eye on too. Not like your traditional pocket knife. This is I believe they're called a friction folder. kind of knife. This one's Opinel's carbon steel version. I think this is a number 7, but it's got a nice round handle, a nice thin blade, and it's higher carbon steel, a harder carbon steel blade compared to their regular stainless steel, which makes it a great option for whittling for a little bit extra edge retention. These are pretty inexpensive. I think this one is less than 20 bucks as well. Comfortable to hold. Just a great option if that's what you have. You can also use their regular stainless steel versions as well, but keep in mind you might have a little bit less edge retention if you're doing it that way. And then you got some like your other basic pocket knives that we carry around with us. This is one I've been carrying around with me for 10 plus years now. It's seen a lot of use, and it's a good whittling knife if I so choose, but it does have a thicker blade, which makes it a little bit more cumbersome for whittling, and the longer blade also kind of interferes with stuff. But it's a good option. Rough Rider also has a nice little D-chew steel blade, which has a nice edge retention on it and a nice pointed tip. A little bit heavier. I am actually not too terribly fond of this knife because how easily it opens up. It's opened up in my pocket a couple times, so now it's been designated as a shop knife. So it's a little bit safer in the shop rather than me carrying around. This one, while I can still flip it open, it doesn't open too easily compared to the other one. But still good options. So you can also use like Leathermans or your Gerbers, multi-tool and whatnot. A lot of them do come with standard stainless steel on it, but the one that I have right here, this Leatherman has a 154 cm carbon steel blade on it, which has a bit better edge retention than other blades that I have on here. And it's also a bit thinner of a blade compared to my other one that I carry with me. I carry both of these knives with me every day. But like, if I do use this one for whittling, or use any of these knives for whittling, it's gonna be the Leatherman one, just for the slightly more thinner blade on there. So that'd be what I choose there. Some other pocket knives I would not choose at all are these, like the little itty bitty ones, just primarily for control. I mean, they're useful knives just to have with you if you don't have a lot of room to carry a knife with you. Like, you can use them for regular tasks, just for cutting stuff, but as for whittling, I think they're a bit unsafe. And this one is this is like one of the little itty bitty pocket knives that Rough Rider has. Yeah, I would not trust this blade for holding on to much else. But there's also a couple other blades that are out there. Like this is part of the asterisk part. Like obviously you want to use the right tool for the right job. So if you use large blades, it does make it more cumbersome to whittle with. Can you use it for whittling? Yes. Will you be more limited in control and what you can carve? Of course. So just like use proper size knives. Probably use knives that are not meant for combat or anything like that, or not meant for whittling. Like these knives, they're pretty dang scary looking. This one's also pretty dang thick. It's not meant for carving wood, and this is obviously not meant for carving wood. It'd be a little bit dangerous. Plus, with the double-sided edge on it, you don't really have the ability to push and control that edge. That just makes it a little bit unsafe right there. And then like some other knives, like double-sided knives, while you can use them for whittling and wood carving, it makes it harder to do, because if you're carving up here, ideally you want to push behind the blade like you do with a regular blade. You can like push behind the blade and give it a little bit more oomph and control. These ones, double-sided blades, do make it harder. There are some double-sided blades that are for carving, but they're also much smaller, so you can actually put your hand on the handle and push behind to give it control and push. Not necessarily the greatest options for it. Can you do it? Yes. Is it safe? Not necessarily. Would I recommend it? Definitely not. Also, like throwing knives, some of us have them. These are meant for piercing. They're not going to take off a lot of wood at all. You can sharpen them up if you want to, but from my experiences, a lot of throwing knives are also softer steel, like with most impact weapons like axes or hatchets like that. A lot of the generic ones are softer steel. That way they don't chip and break apart so easily. They just slightly deform, and you can easily sharpen them up with like a file or something like that. Like this one, meant for piercing. You can sharpen it. Wouldn't be worth your time to do so though. But yeah, definitely if you're going to be using any sort of knife to whittle or do wood carving stuff with, definitely use the right knife for the right job for best results. Bushcraft, you're going to want to use more of a bushcraft ready knife. It get more control, allow you more of a slice pattern to it. Whittling and whatnot, you're going to want the smaller bladed knives with higher carbon steel. It allows you for more control. You can also use sloyd knives as well if you want a little bit longer blade. Great option for taking off large stocks of wood. So keep that in mind too. There's a lot of options out there. Most knives are not made for whittling and wood carving, but you can still use them to an extent. Some knives will work better than others, obviously. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and hope you have yourself a great day.